Morning, good afternoon, and evening, everyone. How are we doing today? Please give me a thumbs up if you can hear me clearly. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you, Sophia. Right, so it's great to have each and every one of us in tonight's session. I'm excited for the conversations we're going to have, and I'm really looking forward to the interactions and engagements moving into the session. Now, please, I want to do a a bit of housewarming, right? Just to inform us, I have two screens in front of me, so just in case you see me turning to the other side, I'm not distracted. I'm simply looking at my second screen. All right. So very quickly, we are going to dive into it. Like I said, we are excited to have you in today's session, and it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful session. We're going to have awesome conversations, and there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to take out from tonight's session. Now, as we're diving in, I would like to get to know some of the newcomers and some of the old takers, as the Gen Z people would say. Right. So if this is the very first time you are joining a Analytics masterclass, right? You've not been in any one of our master classes before. This is your very first time. Could you just type a one in the chat? And if this is not your first time, I mean, you've been in a previous master class or a tech series or maybe one of our clarity sessions, you can just type in a zero in the chat. All right, say a one if this is your very first analytics masterclass, and a zero if you have joined any of our previous sessions. All right, so I'm looking up our responses. Diana, it's good to have you. Okay, Treasure has been in the previous masterclass. Fantastic. It's good to see you again, Treasure. Amy, it's good to see you again. Fantastic. Obina, okay, Lola is joining for the very first time. That's fantastic. All right, so please let's keep the responses coming in, right, as we proceed with the session. Again, a little bit of housewarming. I just want to establish this before we proceed with the session. Please, I would love for each and every one of us to keep our mics muted and our cameras turned off so we don't distract others on the call. Also, if you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat. My colleagues will be responding to your questions, and eventually I'll come back to, I'll circle back to respond to every single question that has been put out there. All right. And please, this is a virtual session. So if you have any question, like I said, put that in the chat and I'll circle back to respond to those questions. This is a virtual session and I might not be able to see you, right? I mean, you can see me, but I can't see you, right? So I would need to be able to pick up on certain cues, right? To know that you're actually following and that you're actually on track. If it were a physical meeting, I would be able to see you probably nodding your head or looking at me. So I know you're paying attention. But since it's virtual, I'll be asking for thumbs ups at intervals. I'll be asking for responses in the chat at intervals. And I would really appreciate if you would always respond to these requests, right? It just helps me know that you are actually on track and that you are actually in the session. All right, so we're excited to have you, and very quickly we're going to dive into it. Now, before we even proceed, I would like to know, right? So now I know a couple of us are joining for the very first time, and some of us have been in previous master classes, right? So if you now I would like to know where you're joining from, right? I want to know if you're joining from Nigeria, if you're joining from the UK, if you're joining from the US, wherever you are joining the call from. You can just type in your name and probably where you're joining the call from. Right, so we have Amy joining from the UK, Lola joining from the UK. All right, Diana from Canada. All right, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Dante joining from the UK. All right. All right, so I'm Jedediah and I'm joining from Lagos, Nigeria. It's awesome to have us all in this session. All right, just give me a moment to share my screen and we'll dive into the conversation. Okay, we have Olugba also joining from Nigeria. All right, fantastic. Okay. All right, my screen should be up now. My screen should be up now. All right, so in today's masterclass, we'll be discussing machine learning, right? Discussing about machine learning, becoming a machine learning engineer, and how machine learning is actually the top AI job in 2025. You can actually break into machine learning with no tech degree at all, right? And we'll be seeing how this is possible as we proceed with this session. At this point, I want to believe that every one of us has at least heard of AI at some point, right? You might not have interacted with AI, right? Or you have, but maybe you didn't realize that that was actually AI that you were interacting with. All right. So we're going to be learning a little more about AI. We're going to be learning a little more about machine learning and how the recent trends that are happening in the industry and how you can actually break into this field of machine learning and AI without any tech background, which is the case for most of us. All right. So we'll be discussing all of this in tonight's masterclass, and there's a lot for us to learn. There's a lot in store for us to learn. So just sit back, grab your pen, grab your book, and be ready to take down. Now, before we move any further, I would like to ask if you know what machine learning is about. If you've heard about machine learning, you have an idea, you have just a rough idea of what machine learning is about. Can you just type ML in the chat? If you have a rough idea, it might not be so clear, but you just have a sketchy idea what machine learning is about. Just type in ML in the chat. If you don't, you can just type a zero. Type a zero in the chat. If you have an idea or you've heard about machine learning, maybe you've heard the word thrown around somewhere, just type in ML in the chat. Okay, so Amy, we're going to be learning about machine learning today. All right, interesting. All right, fantastic. So today our focus is machine learning engineer, the top AI job in 2025 with no tech degree required. All right. Before we dive into the conversation, I would like to introduce Tenalytics. Tenalytics is a leading edtech brand, a global edtech brand that's focused on building the African community, training people of the Black community, and helping them transition into the field of tech. All right, so we've been around for a number of years now, and we've trained well over 25,000 participants, helping them to transition into the field of tech seamlessly. All right, we conduct a series of trainings on specializations that cut across data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, cybersecurity, um, agile and scrum. All right, so we have a number of fully collected and curated programs that we take at Analytics, and our focus is on the Black community and the African community to ensure that we are able to help these people break into the field of tech. We have observed that there's a huge underrepresentation of our communities in the field of tech, and our focus is on helping to bridge that gap, all right, to ensure that there's a very good representation of the Black community in the tech industry so that we can build up these tech, right, and help our communities build up our society as well as we also make big bucks in these fields of tech. All right, a little introduction to who I am. My name is Jedediah Usara. I'm a seasoned tech professional in the field of data science. I have close to half a decade of experience working in data science. I've worked with Tenalytics and a number of organizations across the US, UK, Canada, and even here in Nigeria. Like I've worked as a data analyst, data scientist, machine learning engineer across industries like marketing, finance, aviation, education, and so on. Right. I've personally trained over 2,000 participants. Right. So you can be rest assured that I have the knowledge and I also have the experience transferring this knowledge. All right. So I'm excited for the session and the conversation that we're going to have today. And I'm looking forward to all of the interactions that we're going to have moving forward. All right, just a quick breakdown of what we're going to be discussing today. First, we'll be looking at what exactly is machine learning, right? Is machine learning and artificial intelligence an industry to get into in 2025? Is this actually a vital industry that you would want to get into, right? We'll also be looking at the emerging trends in the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence, right? So we'll see if artificial intelligence and machine learning is actually a viable industry to break into. And then we'll look at some of the emerging trends, some of the developments that are happening in this industry, in the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Then we'll be looking at the skills that you need to actually land a job in this field of AI, right? We'll be looking at skills that are required to actually break into machine learning and land a job in AI in 2025, right? We'll also be looking at how you can actually make this transition with no tech degree, all right, which is most likely the case for most of us, right? You might not have a tech degree at the moment, right? But regardless of that, you can actually break into the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence, and would be breaking down how you can actually make this transition journey seamless. All right. And then finally, we have a special offer for you. All right. And we'll be discussing about all of that eventually as we proceed with the session. Oliver, let's get into it. Now, before we get started, I would like to first of all explain what artificial intelligence is and machine learning. All right. You would hear me use these words interchangeably, these concepts interchangeably, but there are nuances between the two of them. Now, artificial intelligence, on one hand, is the development, the theory, the idea, and development of computers and systems that are able to think and act, right, like humans. The development of systems, of programs, of computers that can make decisions, that can act like humans. All right. And then machine learning is one way that we can actually achieve artificial intelligence. Now, the way machine learning does that is by training systems and models and algorithms on data. And then they pick up on these patterns that exist in the data. And then they're able to make certain decisions based on their observations on the data. So I'm going to take a step back again. Artificial intelligence deals with creating systems, machines, and computers that can act like humans. All right, that's the focus of artificial intelligence. So it's a broad field focusing on developing computers that can act like humans, that can behave like humans, that can perform tasks that should require human intervention. All right. And then we have machine learning, which is an approach which can be used to achieve artificial intelligence. Right. So the way machine learning work, I'm going to use a very typical scenario, which is typically something most of us might have experienced. All right. So I want to ask a question. If you have a child at home, if you have a kid at home, can you just give me a thumbs up? If you have a kid at home or you've had interactions with children before while they are learning their ABCs or stuff like that, just give me a thumbs up. If you've had any interaction with a kid before while they are learning, while they are reading, while they are trying to study, just give me a thumbs up. Okay, fantastic. All right, interesting, interesting. So almost everyone on call has had some level of interaction with a kid before. Interesting. Interesting. Now, machine learning works in a similar manner that the kid learning actually works. All right. Now, when teaching a child their ABCs or the letters of the alphabet, the typical process is to bring the child and bring those alphabets, right? And to show them the alphabets. Oh, John or Joel or whoever it is. I'm going to use John as an instance. Oh, John, this is letter A. John, this is letter B. John, this is letter C. All right. Then tomorrow or later on, you come back and repeat the same process. John, this is letter A. John, this is letter B. John, this is letter C. All right. At some point, you would stop telling the child, this is letter A, this is letter B, this is letter C. All right. At some point, you will stop telling the child, this is letter A, B, and C. You move to a stage where you bring the letters and then you ask the child, oh, John, what letter is this? John, what letter is this? John, what letter is this? And then the child is able to respond because they have learned from the previous images or pictures or letters that you have shown to them, right? You have trained them to be able to identify letter A. Oh, this is how letter A looks like, right? It looks like an like two triangles, that, two lines that meet at the top, and then there's a dash in the middle, all right? So this child is able to identify these letters based on the training they have passed through, or you show them letter A, letter B, letter C, and later on when you bring these letters, the child is able to identify these different letters. based on the training they have gone through. Machine learning works in a similar manner, all right? In this case, you are developing algorithms, you are developing systems, right, that are able to make predictions, that are able to make decisions based on data, all right? In this case, your machine learning model is now your John, all right? And then the alphabets that you are showing to John initially become data, all right? And then you present this data to your machine learning algorithm, and it's able to pick up on patterns. Oh, this is what I'm observing within the data. These are the observations I'm making. And then eventually, when it begins to see new data, it's able to make certain decisions based on the training it has passed through. Or I've been able to identify that, oh, if I observe this kind of trend in my data, if I observe that, oh, A looks like this and B looks like this and C looks like this, the next time I see A and it's taking the same shape and form that I was taught before, I'm able to identify that this is actually letter A. That's how machine learning works, right? And you can see with just this scenario, you can already tell that in a way it's trying to imitate how humans learn. All right, we typically go through a stage of learning which we store and actually understand some of these things, and then later on we can begin to make inferences based on the observations and things that we have learned. Right, picture your time in school, right, where you go through a period of learning in class, where your teacher or lecturer or whoever it is, the professor, takes you through learning content, and then eventually there's an examination you have to sit for. And what you're doing is basically applying everything you have learned in class, all of the concepts, all of the formulas you've learned about, all of the calculations and processes, you apply them on these new questions that you're given, and then you can go on to answer them. So that's how machine learning works, right? You train a model on data, and then it's able to make decisions based on its training and based on the observations that it's making from the data. And so machine learning is one way we can achieve artificial intelligence by building autonomous models, by building autonomous systems that are able to make decisions after being trained on data. All right. So now that we have established the difference between machine learning and artificial intelligence, we can proceed into the first bit of our conversation today. Is machine learning and artificial intelligence an industry to get into in 2025? Is machine learning and artificial intelligence an industry to get into in 2025? I would like every one of us to do a tiny bit of an exercise. All right. I would like every one of us to do a bit of an exercise. If you have your phone with you, right, or your laptop, you might be joining this call right now on your computer or on your phone. If you have any device around you, I want you to Google top careers in 2025. Just Google that. Just type that in your browser. Open your browser and just type in top careers in 2025. All right. And then I would like to call anyone at all. If you are able to do that, just give me a thumbs up. If there's anyone that's done that, just give me a thumbs up. If you are able to do that, top careers in 2025, just type in Google, top careers in 2025. All right, anyone, if you have done that, just give me a thumbs up. All right, okay, thank you so much. So can you just type out, what's the first thing you saw? Or like the first, you would have typically seen a result that looks something like this, right? Top careers in 2025. You see data science, you see AI engineer, you see artificial intelligence, you see machine learning, all right? As simple as doing a Google search, you are already able to pick up and see that artificial intelligence is actually an in-demand job in 2025. Generally, not just in the field of tech. Today, we see artificial intelligence being implemented in almost every single industry. All right. You can see at the top here, we have a screenshot indicating top careers in 2025, and you can see data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. All of these concepts are, all of these are things that we're going to be learning about. All right. And we can already see that artificial intelligence and machine learning are actually fields that are in demand in this year. If you look at the screen right now, you'd also see that I have two other blogs. One from the London School of Economics, all right? And you see there's an entire article on the top 10 most in-demand tech careers. And you see that number one in-demand tech career is actually artificial intelligence and machine learning, the very top one. If you look at the second article by Forbes, it indicates 10 AI skills to boost your salary up to 47% in 2025. So there's potential for a salary increase of up to 47% in 2025 if you can pick up tech skills in artificial intelligence. And it has outlined some of these tech skills that you can actually pick out. If you go on to read this article, you see that machine learning is mentioned, AI engineering is mentioned, and so many others. All right. So at your convenience, you can go on to read each one of these articles and you see a much more detailed breakdown, a much more detailed conversation on the fact that machine learning is actually in demand in 2025. Right. Today, there are a lot of chatbots, right? Some of us have had interactions with chatbots at different points, moving on to this very moment. Some of us have had interactions with AI like ChatGPT, and of recent, there's been a lot of fuss about the new AI that was released from China, the new AI released from China, and there's been a lot of conversation about it. Right, there's a lot of AI developments going on here and there, and we are able to see that machine learning and artificial intelligence are actually in demand jobs. Now, this is another article prepared by the World Economic Forum on the future of jobs report. Now, this is an article that's released every single year by the World Economic Forum, and they take a lot of time to conduct immense research to come up with these values, right? And if you look in here, right, what are the skills that are currently in demand? What are the skills that are going to be in demand, projected to yield a lot of increase, projected to create a lot of jobs and so on in 2025 and moving on? You see that we have big data specialists, we have AI and machine learning among the top three. All right. You can see we have autonomous and electric vehicle specialists, which is basically another aspect of machine learning, right? Just like in this case, you are training your model on pictures, right? That field data, but the kind of data you're working on is pictures, not text in this case, right? We have data analysts and data scientists, right? These are all in-demand job roles in 2025, right? So this is just evidence to the kinds of jobs that you can actually find yourself in with the skills of data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. This just proves how in demand, how urgent, right? There's need for professionals like you and I, right, to break into this field, for people like you and I to break into this field and actually start making impact, developing systems, developing innovative products that can yield better results and can help standards of living and business processes, business practices, and so on. Now, with these skills, right, you can actually break into a plethora of roles, from roles like data analytics, data science, machine learning engineer, forecasting analyst, and so on, artificial intelligence engineer. There's a lot, right? There's a lot of fields or specific jobs that you can actually occupy with the skills and knowledge of a machine learning engineer. All right, so we'll be discussing a little further. Now we've been able to see that the jobs of machine learning and artificial intelligence are actually in demand. There's a lot of demand for machine learning and artificial intelligence, especially in 2025. Now we'll be looking at the emerging trends in the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence, right? What are some of the recent developments that are happening in the field of artificial intelligence, in the field of machine learning? What are some of the groundbreaking results that we've been getting? What are some of the innovations that have been coming into play, and how are we integrating them into our lives? All right, today AI is literally everywhere, right? In hospitals, in banks, businesses use artificial intelligence, in schools, literally everywhere there's artificial intelligence. On your phone, on your computer, literally everywhere there's artificial intelligence. Sometimes we end up interacting with AI systems without even realizing it. You generate an abundance of data most times without even realizing it. So we want to look at what are some of the emerging trends. We've been able to see that AI is actually in demand. All right. So now we are looking at what are some of the areas we can actually contribute to, right, to ensure that we stay on track with the developments that are happening, right? And this just also shows us, right? This just also shows us that there's a lot more for us to do as data scientists. So AI is not coming to replace you. Instead, you'll be the one developing the AI. All right, you'll be the one developing the AI and using it to optimize certain processes and systems. All right, so we'll be looking at some of the emerging trends in the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence. And the very first one we'll be looking at is agentic AI. Before I go on to discuss about agentic AI, can you just give me a thumbs up if you have had any interaction with a chatbot before? Just type a 1 in the chat if you've had an interaction with a chatbot before. I'm sure most of us have, right? From ChatGPT to what's this one called? Gemini from Google. Fantastic. So there's a lot of artificial intelligence around us. There's a lot of chatbots. There's even one on WhatsApp now, right? There's one embedded into WhatsApp, like the Meta AI. And even though sometimes it feels like it's not always on point, but yeah, there's a lot of AI around us. Now, agentic AIs are basically systems that are trained to adapt to new environments, right? They are trained to basically adapt to any kind of condition with minimal human intervention, basically. I explained earlier that the concept of AI is about developing systems that can think and act like humans, that can mimic human behavior. Now, agentic AI are basically AI systems that can take on tasks that would typically require human involvement, right? Now, imagine AI systems that can do extensive tasks beyond the simple tasks that the current kind of AI we have can do. Right? Some of us have had interactions with AI systems like Siri and Alexa, right? And you would agree with me that there's a limit to the kind of tasks that Siri and Alexa can actually do. Now, imagine that Siri and Alexa can do your homework for you, or imagine Siri and Alexa can go beyond, oh, hey Siri, set an alarm for me for 2 o'clock, or hey Siri, set a reminder for me to study at this time, or hey Siri, set a reminder for me to do my assignment at this particular time. Imagine that Siri can go beyond that, right? To actually plan meetings, schedule these meetings, send emails, can go as far as conducting research for you, doing certain tasks for you, like performing assignments, exploring the internet, and coming up with data or any kind of information, scraping, getting whatever you need for you. Imagine that Siri is able to go beyond the conventional tasks that it's able to do right now locally on your device, going beyond that and conducting things as advanced as scheduling meetings, sending emails, and even conducting research for you. That's just an idea of what agentic AI can do. We are focused on developing AI systems that can adapt to new environments. Oh, hey Siri, I'm giving a task to you, right? A task that is beyond what it can currently do, and it goes on to adapt to that particular instruction. It's designed for a specific domain, and it can do tasks beyond the conventional simple tasks that current AI can do. Right? This is just one recent development of AI. There's still a lot of research being done. There's still a lot of developments being done. But this is just one emerging trend in the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence. Right? It's experts like you and I, right? Experts like you and I will become, right? That work on such systems and such models. Right? We have another emerging trend, which is multimodal AI. Multimodal AI. Sometime last year, OpenAI released GPT-4o, and this was an AI model that could respond to pictures. You could literally take a picture of like a math question, and it will actually go on to solve that question and give you a response. All right, that's just multimodal AI at a very basic form, right? We are talking about picture this multimodal AI. Picture this an AI system that is able to take in medical images, all right, and then come up with a voice detailed report on its observations. Right? Imagine taking in medical imaging, X-rays, and so on, and then passing it through an AI system, and then it's able to come up with a voice report, a detailed report on the observations that it has made. All right. Think about the kinds of advancements that can be applied in this field, multimodal AI. The concept here is basically artificial intelligence systems that are able to work with different kinds of data, from text to images to videos to speech and so on, right? with this kind of AI, we can have people who cannot see, right, interacting with people who cannot hear at all. All right, with this kind of AI, because it's able to process different forms of data and it's able to understand and interpret data in any form at all. Imagine an AI system that is able to take in a video, break it down, and then come up with a summary of the entire video. All right, come up with maybe a vocal summary or a written summary of the entire video. Right, this is just one application of multimodal AI. We've seen chatbots, we've seen AI systems recently that can help you study. Like they could go scrape through a class video and then come up with a summary of that particular video. That's just one application of multimodal AI, right? And this is just an example of some of the trends that are still coming on in the field of artificial intelligence and machine learning. You have federated learning. This is basically decentralized artificial intelligence. Right now, picture this. Imagine this. For some of us who work in the health sector, right, this will be most likely be something that would relate to. All right. Picture this generally. Right? Picture a
Hi, Judge. You're mute.
can you hear me?
Yes, you're back now.
All right, thank you. All right, so I'm going to take federated learning over again. Now picture this, right? Picture the scenario, right? With rare diseases that are broken out across the globe. And we could have different patients who are responding differently to treatments and are basically responding to differently to treatments. But then picture AI models, AI systems that are tracking the performance of each patient. Picture AI systems that are able to track how well each person is responding to these treatments, how well they are interacting with the treatments, how well they are performing day on day, what improvements are being made, what changes is happening to these patients as they interact, as they take on medications and so on, right? And then imagine that with all of this data that's being collected, this AI model is able to learn from each person and share its learning. Take note of what I'm explaining here. It's sharing its learning, it's sharing the observation that it's making without sharing data about the individual. All right. So it's not sharing the actual data of the host, right? It's not sharing the actual data of the person it's learning from, it's being trained on. What it's sharing is basically the observations it's making and whatever insights it's gathering, so that with all of these collections, it can easily learn from patterns that are observed, right? If this person is responding in a certain way to treatment, it can learn from that person's reaction to the treatment and see if there's a pattern with other patients, and is able to come up um, with a solution, right? Because it's learning from multiple people at the same time, rather than just a single person at a time, which will typically be the case in a hospital, right? Or fewer people if we're working in a hospital. Right, so federated AI or federated learning has to do with conducting machine learning, right? Having AI models that are decentralized. What that simply means is that they are learning from people, they are learning from data, they are learning from multiple users, from multiple devices, but they are not sharing those devices' personal data. We're talking about healthy data here as an example. So all of these personal data are not shared. However, the model is still learning and developing and getting better at doing its job without giving up its host personal data. Right? Is this making sense? Give me a thumbs up if it is. Give me a thumbs up if it is. I can see a really interesting question. Chooks is asking who trains them? How is it being trained? It's people like you and I that actually train these models, right? It's people like you and I that actually train these models. All right, we've discussed agentic models, agentic AI, multimodal AI, federated learning. We have so many others. There's ethical AI, right? Basically developing AI systems. Remember, these systems are not human beings, right? these systems are not human beings. They typically work based on logic, like typically work based on certain mathematical operations, certain calculations, formulas that have been embedded, algorithms that have been established. It's important that they are also fair in their judgment. It's also important that they are transparent in their judgment. All right. So that's basically the idea in ethical AI, ensuring that whatever AI is being developed is taking into consideration the human factor. It's eliminating any form of bias and does not breach, right, any privacy of anyone it's interacting with, or give out any form of data, any form of personal data as it's operating, right? So ethics basically come into play in ensuring fairness, transparency, and accountability of AI models, ensuring that they are doing their job without compromising on the data or on the user's data, right? We have AI for humanitarianism. There's AI that's been developed for so much, right? Cutting across tracking diseases, disease diagnosis, healthcare access, disaster response. There's AI developed to track storms and potential earthquakes. There's AI models developed to do all of these. All right. So there's a lot that's happening in the field of artificial intelligence, and we're going to be learning how we can actually dive into this field. There's so much others that's happening, right? We have explainable AI, we have near infinite memory, we have human in loop augmentation, and so much more. Right. Some of us have had conversations with uh the chatbot made available on WhatsApp, right? The Meta AI that's available on WhatsApp. If you have had conversations with that Meta AI, you would agree with me that sometimes you come back to continue a conversation and it feels like this chatbot is confused or something. It has forgotten the previous conversation that you had. Now imagine a chatbot that is able to recall every single conversation. Right? You have a conversation with it today, you come back tomorrow, it can recall that. Right? Think about the chatbots you've interacted with on different websites, maybe from your bank, right? Like UBA, I believe they have Vio on their website, on their platform. Imagine having an interaction with you. Most of these chatbots, where immediately you end a conversation with them, they typically forget everything that you have had a conversation with them about. Now, picture that anytime you come back to that same website and you are interacting with that particular chatbot, it can always remember and recall whatever conversation you've had with it. That's near infinite memory AI. It can always keep track of every single conversation you've had and always pick up wherever you might have left off. Right? We have explainable AI, which is basically AI systems that would make inferences, make decisions, and also give you reasons and explain why those decisions were made. All right. You can have an AI system, as an example, you can have an AI system that's responsible for approving or denying certain loans. Right. Just picture that an AI system that's responsible for approving and denying certain loans. Right. It should have been trained on data and looking at factors like, oh, the credit score of the customer, look at the borrowing pattern, look at the income of the customer, and so many other things. Right. The AI system will be trained on all of this data, and it will be able to make predictions or be able to decide, oh, if we give this customer a loan, this person would actually pay us back and would not run away with our money, right? So explainable AI, picture that an explainable AI is embedded in such a system, all right? If it denies a particular customer on a loan, it's able to tell the customer, oh, this is the reason why you're not getting this loan, or this is the reason why we can't give you this loan, right? It also allows the user to allow the lender, right, which is the owner of the AI or whoever is using this AI in their business, right, to see and validate that this decision was actually a just one. All right. So explainable AI is basically an AI system that is able to make a decision, but also give you an explanation, right? Gives inference on why that decision was actually made, right? So all of these are basically trends that are happening in the field of AI. There's a lot more that's coming, right? These are just a few of them that I've mentioned, right? And with skills in machine learning and artificial intelligence, you can actually contribute to these kinds of developments. You can actually contribute to any one of these fields, whichever one that you pick interest in, or whichever one you find yourself involved in. You can contribute to these developments and make the world a better place. There's a lot of fuss about recent developments in artificial intelligence, and a lot of people feel like artificial intelligence is going to replace a lot of jobs. But the truth of the matter is, artificial intelligence is only going to enhance our performance as humans. All right. And the good thing is we are here as machine learning engineers. We are here as aspiring machine learning engineers and AI specialists, here to learn about how we can actually break into this field and contribute to these developments. The purpose of developing these AI models is to collaborate with humans, right, to ensure that we are being effective, to ensure that we are automating certain um, redundant or daunting tasks, right, and to ensure that our lives are much, much more easier and simpler. All right. So with all of these AI systems, we're able to make life so much more easier and so much more simpler to live and enjoy. All right. With the concept we'll be learning, we'll see how we can actually break into this field of AI. So now we've talked about what AI is, what machine learning is. We've digress the differences between these two things. We've also seen industries where you can actually work in AI. We've seen some of the recent trends in artificial intelligence and so on. Now, what are the core skills that you need to actually become a machine learning engineer? What are the core skills that you actually need to break into this field of artificial intelligence and machine learning? What does it take to become an AI specialist? Right, the very first thing you have to have, right, the very first thing you need to have is critical thinking and problem solving. Right, critical thinking and problem solving. A lot of people say engineering is so difficult. Right, there's a lot of thoughts about engineering, and people say engineering is so difficult. And the reason is because you are trained to think critically. You are trained to solve problems, build systems, come up with ideas, come up with ways to ensure that you are solving a problem. Problem solving is a very vital skill for a machine learning and AI specialist. You're not just developing random models. Your model has to be specific, address a particular need, solve a particular problem. Right. So it's important that you pick up on skills like critical thinking and problem solving. All right. Another skill that is required is data wrangling, knowing how to handle and manipulate data, knowing how to collect data, clean it, and prepare this data for analysis. I've explained that machine learning has to do with training training systems, right? Training models, training algorithms to learn from data and then make predictions, automated predictions, without explicitly being instructed to do so, right? They're able to learn from observations that they have made on data, patterns that they have observed, and then make decisions. Right? So it's important that you know how to manage and handle data as a machine learning expert, as a machine learning engineer, so that you can build AI systems, so that you can build machine learning models that are performing at the top. All right, so data wrangling is a very important skill for a machine learning engineer or AI specialist. Right, another very important skill is programming. Right, learning how to use tools like Python and SQL to process and analyze your data. Right, Python is a very powerful programming language that's used in many different specific fields in the industry of tech generally. Right, there are data engineers that make use of Python. There are game developers that make use of Python as a programming language. Right, but Python is also core for machine learning and developing AI systems. There are a lot of libraries that are built to help you build certain kinds of models and systems that solve human problems, right? That attend to these needs, right? SQL is also a very vital tool that you need as a machine learning engineer, specifically because SQL is designed to allow you to interact with databases. And like we've mentioned in the previous point, you need to be able to interact with data. You need to be able to manage and analyze data, right? So SQL becomes paramount for you, allowing you to be able to interact with the database, retrieve the data that you need, and actually analyze this data and develop machine learning models that can learn from this data and make predictions. All right. So we've seen critical thinking, data wrangling, and programming, specifically in Python and SQL. All right. Now, statistics is also a very vital skill that you need to have as a machine learning engineer. Right, needing being able to understand distributions, probabilities, and relationships that exist in your data. I've explained before that machine learning models learn from patterns, right, within the data. They're able to observe these patterns, look at the distributions of your data, make probabilities, make assumptions, right, make calculations, right, and see relationships that might exist in your data and how they affect the conclusions, or how they affect your target, whatever it is that you're trying to predict, whatever it is that you are trying to solve, right? So they establish or they investigate the relationships that might exist in your data and how they affect the problem that you're actually trying to solve. Right? So statistics is a very important concept that helps you to actually conduct extensive analysis and build robust machine learning models, right? We also have machine learning, right, which is the actual skill itself, right? And this basically involves applying algorithms to train models, right? Applying different algorithms, developing systems, writing code to develop different systems that are able to make predictions and solve human problems, address business needs and personal human needs, right? And then lastly, you need employability and soft skills, right? These technical skills are not enough to actually get you into the field of machine learning and AI, right? You also need soft skills because in a typical work scenario, you would be working with other data experts, you'll be working with other people. So it's important that you can apply soft skills like working in teams, effective communication, and so on. Now, how do you actually transition into this field of artificial intelligence and machine learning? You've seen the skills that you need. You've seen some of the advancements in this field of artificial intelligence. You've seen the difference between artificial intelligence and machine learning and how they are related. Now we are looking at how you can actually break into this field without a tech degree, right? Without a tech degree. We do understand that a lot of us might not work in tech at the moment, or we don't have any tech background, we don't have any tech experience. So how exactly can we break into this field? How can we start developing these AI models, these advanced AI models, without any prior experience in tech, without any kind of tech background? Right. So how exactly can we transition into artificial intelligence and machine learning? And that's what we are going to be discussing now. Right. To break into this field of artificial intelligence and machine learning, there are three major components that you need. There are three major things that you need to help you break into machine learning and artificial intelligence. The very first of them is technical skills. You need technical skills. You need technical skills. All right. It's humans that are developing these AI systems. All right. And how do they do that? By writing code, right? By coming together, putting together algorithms, developing these models. So you need these technical skills. You need knowledge of how to wrangle and analyze data. Those skills we just discussed a few moments ago, right? The skills that make you an ML engineer. That's one of the core things you need in order to break into the field of machine learning. You need to know Python, you need to know SQL, like you need to know statistics, you need to know how to analyze and handle data. All right. The second important thing, the second key thing you need are soft skills. All right. The second very important thing you need are soft skills. So you need the technical skills for developing these actual AI models. Then you need the soft skills. All right. In most cases, in a typical scenario, you'll be working with non-technical stakeholders. Right. The owner of the business might be someone who knows nothing about machine learning. They just heard about data, they just heard about machine learning, and they just saw that, oh, chatbots are the new trend now for businesses, and they are calling you in to develop a chatbot for their business. All right. You need to be able to effectively communicate whatever your technical work is to these non-technical stakeholders without getting them confused. All right. You need to be able to effectively communicate your findings, effectively communicate your process, effectively communicate what exactly your model is doing without getting them confused. Right. So soft skills come into play in this manner, right? And also keep in mind that you would typically be working with other professionals in the field. So it's important that you can actually establish these social relationships with them. You can actually work with other people on a team. Right? So besides the actual technical skills, there are soft skills that are required to excel as a machine learning engineer. Now, the third thing you need is actually experience and proficiency. All right. And Nigerian people will say show workings, no be cho cho cho. Abi, show workings, show evidence. But that boy say you gotta explain time, no evidence. All right. So in order to break into this field of machine learning, you actually need to show some level of experience. You need to show proficiency. To get hired, you have to show expertise and proficiency in the field. You need to be able to confidently tell your employers, whoever it is that wants to employ you, right? You, even if it was you, you won't employ someone that's not trained. You won't employ someone that cannot do the job. All right. You want to employ someone that can actually do the job. And how do you get that person? Is by knowing their level of expertise, proficiency in the field, and how much experience they have. Right? So experience, most times experience is an indicator of proficiency or of expertise. Not always, not all the time, right? The case might not always be that, but it's typical that organizations will ask for experience when they are hiring. Right? So in your case, that you're trying to break into this field of machine learning and AI with no technical background, with no previous knowledge of machine learning, you are just learning about machine learning. How can you now show this level of experience? How can you now show your own level of proficiency? How can you now show your own workings? So it doesn't seem like you're just doing cha. How do you actually show your own evidence? You do that by working on projects and building a robust portfolio. How do you show proof of work? How do you show your level of experience? You do that by actually working on the project, right? Actually working on project in this field, actually working on machine learning models, actually working on AI systems, putting together a portfolio, and then showing to these employers that I know what I'm doing. These are examples of some of the things that I have done previously, and these are just applications, right, that can showcase that I actually know what I'm doing and I'm actually proficient in this field and I can deliver on the job if you give me the opportunity. All right. So show your working, show your evidence, right? You can achieve this by learning, building projects, and then building a portfolio. All right. So the three major things that would help you to break into this field of data science or machine learning or artificial intelligence without any technical background would firstly be getting the technical skills themselves. Secondly, getting the soft skills. And then thirdly, showing your level of proficiency, showing your level of experience, and that's by working on projects and building a portfolio. And that's where we come in here at Analytics. We help you to gather all of these three things. We help you to put together these three components, allowing you to actually break into the field of machine learning. We train you on the technical skills. We also have sessions that take you through some of the soft skills that you need and some of the employability skills that you need in order to land a job. And then we also guide you through becoming proficient in this field, building your project and putting together a portfolio. Right. So we ensure that we cover all of these three components, guiding you into breaking into the field of machine learning. These are just a few of the examples of projects that our past participants have worked on. This is one example. This is a machine learning model developed by a participant that joined the training with analytics last year around October. It's less than 6 months, and this person is already able to develop a machine learning model. This particular machine learning model is focused on predicting diabetes in patients, taking in a data set, analyzing it, developing a model that's trained on the data and is able to predict if a patient is likely to be diagnosed with diabetes or not. All right. This is a project that is worked on by someone that has been with analytics for less than 6 months. This person is already a machine learning engineer and is already developing those systems. All right. So this is another machine learning project developed by someone else, right? Here with us at Analytics, a student that has been through the classes with Analytics, developing a machine learning model that's able to predict customers that are likely to leave a business, right? Predict how satisfied customers are and if they are likely to leave the business. So we can see different applications of machine learning and artificial intelligence, and we can see that here at Analytics, we prioritize not just learning these skills, but also showing your workings, right? So I'm showing you evidence now. I'm showing our workings. I'm showing the workings to you now. This is a student that spent less than 6 months and is already in the field of machine learning, all right? This is another example of systems that our students have worked on. Right, this is a computer vision project. Right, this is basically a project that can detect their hands. Right, this is a post detection project. I'm going to play this video and just show us how they work. Right, just give me a minute to share this. So I'm just going to share my screen again and show us these actual models at work, right? These are models that our students have worked on while on the program with us here at Analytics. Just give me a moment to pull that up. Yes. So this is one project worked by its analytics participant. You can see how excited she is to be developing a model like this. And you can see how the model is already tracking her hands, it's tracking her hand movements, right? There's one more that takes on pose detection. Let me pull that up as well. All right, so this is coming up. So these are just examples of some of the projects that you typically be working on. These are machine learning projects. All right. These are AI systems that are already being developed, right? They are already on the path to breaking into artificial intelligence, developing systems like this that can track movements, right? That can track hands, that can track faces, that can track postures, that can track human interactions. All right. There's a lot more that you're going to be learning on the program. There's a lot more advancement happening in the field of artificial intelligence, a lot more development that is happening in the field, right? These are just basic examples, and we can see practically the action of this model. You can see how the model is able to track her face, it's able to track her hands, all of the movements she's making, and everything else, right? These are students that have been with us for less than a year, less than 6 months. And you can see the model is detecting her feet and all. All right. So these are developments in the field of artificial intelligence and machine learning. All right. These are some of the kinds of projects you would begin to work on and move further to even much more advanced stuff. All right. So we would be helping you to lay the foundation, right? Breaking into machine learning, which is the core skill you need to actually function well in the field of artificial intelligence. So please give me a minute to share my slides back and then would um, proceed. All right, so my screen should be up any minute now. Yeah, great. All right, so we'll be breaking down, walking you through how you can develop machine learning models like this, right? In a matter of months, you would already have become machine learning expert, building models like this, building even computer vision projects like this, and even NLP projects, right? Natural language processing projects, right? Seeing how we can work with both image data, text data, and the conventional structured data in spreadsheets. All right. Now the skills and techniques, right? The skills and concepts you'll be learning on the data science program here at Analytics would cut across data cleaning in Microsoft Excel, understanding how you can interact with data in a spreadsheet, right? Understand how you can interact with data in tabular form. We look at statistical concepts, right, that are required for analysis. We look at predictive analytics. You'll also see how you can create visualizations using Tableau. And like I've mentioned before, right, we would see SQL, would see Python, right? We'll take you right from the basics further down to concepts like exploratory data analysis, where you can explore data, wrangle data much more effectively using Python, right? And then go on to create even visualizations in Python. And then we'll move on to developing machine learning models, right? From supervised machine learning models to unsupervised machine learning models. We'll be seeing different algorithms, how you can evaluate the performance of your model and then decide which one tends to be the best performing one. Building robust models, engineering these models so that they are actually working well and delivering on the results that you want them to. We'll also be working on computer vision projects and NLP projects. Now, we've already seen an example of some of the one of the computer vision projects we're going to be working on the program. We've seen two of the machine learning projects we're going to be working on the program. Right, so the full stack data science program is designed to help you gather all of these skills and actually break into the field of data science. We have a number of tools you're going to be learning from Excel to Tableau to Python, and then you start learning about libraries like Pandas, NumPy, and Matplotlib, Scikit-learn, and so much more, right? There's a lot for you to learn. This program is packaged to help you break into not just the field of data science, but machine learning as well, and can actually dive deeper into the field of artificial intelligence. Right. If you remember some of the concepts we discussed, some of the key technical skills that are required for machine learning and artificial intelligence, they include statistics, SQL and Python, which are programming language. You need actual machine learning. All right. And all of these are covered on the full stack data science program. It's called full stack data science because it helps you break into all of these concepts much in depth, right? So that you can actually get started in machine learning and further advance your career, breaking into specifications in artificial intelligence. Now, this program is designed to cater for everyone across the globe. Like I mentioned, we are an edtech brand that's focused on ensuring that we are able to help people of the Black community and Africans, both in Africa and across the globe, to break into the field of tech. So whether you're a Nigerian in Nigeria or a Ghanaian in the US, we ensure that we have classes, we have systems that cater for your learning style, right? So we have live classes that go on Saturdays, right? And we have 2 classes that go on each Saturday, depending on the time that's convenient for you. You join a particular class and stick to it. And then we have self-paced videos that help you to take on some of these skills and concepts. All right. Every single week, we have classes and self-paced videos that guide you through your learning journey, ensuring that we are meeting your different learning style. For some of us, we might be slow learners and we might need to go over certain things over and over again. And that's why we have self-paced videos to guide you through that. And then we have live classes where we have interactions and conversations. And in every single one of our live classes, you will be working on a practical case study. All right. I've explained earlier, right? You are going to be showing workings. You're going to be showing evidence. So in every single one of our live classes, you are working on a practical case study where you are going to be applying these skills and concepts you've learned, working on the projects that can be added to your portfolio to showcase your skills. All right. So we do understand what it takes to break into this field of machine learning, especially when you don't have a technical background, right? We've outlined some of the things you need to actually break in, and you can see that the program addresses those needs. All right. You have live classes, you have self-paced videos, and you have projects you're going to be working on as you progress. Now we have 2 major breakdowns. All right. We have 2 major learning timelines on the program. You have a 6 months program with 2 months internship and a 6 months program, right, with 6 months of internship. The difference between these two learning timelines is basically the amount of internship you have. Now, remember previously we discussed showing your workings, right? The more time you have on the program, the more time you have to actually work on a lot more projects to show your workings. All right. The more time you have on the program, I would actually recommend a longer internship period. So you have a lot more time to actually work on a lot more projects, a lot more robust projects that you can use to show your level of proficiency in the field. In this 6 months period, we'll be taking you through all of these concepts that we have outlined here. We'll be breaking down each step. I'll be taking you through each one of them, helping you to transition into this field of machine learning, gathering not just the technical skills, but the soft skills, and also working on projects and building your portfolio. All right. On the program, you would also have a special and unique opportunity of not just partnering with Tenalytics, but also our sister brand, Amdari. All right, you get the opportunity to take your training with Tenalytics for a period of 6 months, and depending on the timeline you choose to go with for your internship, whether 2 months or 6 months, you'll be taking that with Amdari. So you would have unique opportunities of including both Tenalytics and Amdari on your CV, right, indicating the level of exposure you had to these concepts. You would also have projects that you add from Tenalytics as well as from Amdari. All right, so you would have a robust portfolio at the end of the program. You would already be prepared and ready for the field of data science. All right, so it might seem like this is impossible, right? But I can assure you it is possible. I've shown you some of the projects that participants have worked on in less than 6 months, right? And we have a plethora of testimonials from participants that have trained with us with no prior experience at all, they were able to transition into the field of into various tech fields. Right, we have a plethora of them. Like time will not permit me to go over each and every one of them, right? But these slides will be made available to you, so you can go over every single one of them, right? And you see a lot of our participants that have been able to land jobs. We have Ololade, right? Ololade says, "This is Ololade. I would like to appreciate." Let me go back to that. I would like to appreciate your help with the referral for my Canada PR application. It's with joy that I would like to inform that my application was successful. I'm now a PR holder. Um, she's been able to get her permanent residency after training with analytics, getting references from Analytics. These are all job offers from different participants on the different services that we offer here at Analytics. Right. If you go through this, you get to see a plethora of testimonials from different candidates, from different participants that have been through this program. Without prior tech backgrounds, they've been able to break into this field of tech and are doing amazingly, amazingly well. All right. Now, Analytics is not just an anyhow brand, right? We are also very much aware of recent developments that are happening in the field, right? Recent developments that are happening in the industry. And that's why we are also very much intentional about our own development. We were able to enter the Alberta Catalyzer Velocity Program in October 2024, and we were able to successfully complete that, right? And we are also able to gain the American Council of Training and Development's accreditation, right? So be rest assured that even after going after the program, going on the program with Analytics, you are going to be getting a certificate, right? Besides the project and skills you have gathered, you're going to be getting a certificate to, excuse me, you're going to be getting a certificate to show that you have gone through this training, you have the skills, and you are proficient enough, you are experienced, and you are proficient to work in this field. And keep in mind that this is an accredited certification that you're going to be getting from Analytics, being accredited with the American Council of Training and Development. So we are very much aware of everything that you need, from the technical skills to the employability and soft skills that you need, to the experience and proficiency, showing that by working on projects and building a portfolio. All right. Breaking into the tech, the world of tech is seamless, can be seamless if you are doing that with Analytics. Right. Doing it individually can be a lot. But keep in mind, Analytics is here to hold your hands, to train you on the technical skills and the employability skills, building projects, and that would lead to you landing your actual very first role in the field of data science, right? Machine learning and even artificial intelligence. Now, besides all of these that we have seen already, the technical skills that you be gaining, I've mentioned that we also have additional employability services that we are providing, helping you to break into this field. All right, so we have sessions like the CV review sessions, where we have interactions and we train you on how you can actually revamp your CV in order to be suited and tailored to break into this field of machine learning. All right, for most of us, we might already be working in different industries, and our CVs are currently tailored for that specific industry that we work in. So here at Analytics, we'll be training you on how you can actually tailor your CV to these specific machine learning and artificial intelligence roles that you want to break into. We'll also be seeing how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile and tailor it for the specific kinds of roles that you are going for. All right, to ensure that you are able to break into these fields and actually land jobs. All right, LinkedIn is a very powerful platform, all right, that can help you to actually break into this field of tech, to actually land a role. I can't I can't count the number of offers I've gotten on LinkedIn, right? Just by my interactions and optimizing my LinkedIn profile. Right. So we'll be taking you through how you can actually optimize your profile. What are the things you need to do? Some of the tips and tricks that you need to apply in order to actually land a role in machine learning and artificial intelligence. We'll also be taking you through sessions on Upwork optimization. Now, Upwork is basically a platform for freelancing. So if you are not on, if you don't buy the idea of taking on a full-time role, probably you want to work freelance so that you can handle other things, or you want to work on contracts, right? Work as a data science contractor or machine learning engineer as a contractor. Then Upwork will be a platform. Upwork is a platform, is an option for you to explore. And we'll be training you on how you can actually optimize Upwork for your own career goals, right? We'll be taking you through a series of trainings on how to navigate the job market, from how to answer interview questions on to how to prepare yourself for these interviews. We'll have job interview preparation sessions. Now, these sessions are basically one-on-one sessions for when you are being called in for an interview. All right. So we take our time to take you through learning the technical skills, learn the employability and soft skills, revamping your CV, optimizing your LinkedIn profile, getting yourself job ready, right? And then putting yourself out there for different jobs that are open to you, right? And then when you actually land an interview, we are here to have a one-on-one interview preparation session to help you excel during the interview. All right. We are here to ensure that your learning journey is seamless and you're able to seamlessly and easily break into the field of data science, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. We'll also be providing you with reference and recommendations letters when these organizations request for them. Right? Some of these organizations would want to see, oh, you claim that you've had training with analytics, or you claim that you've worked on this project with analytics. Right? We need to be able to confirm, we need to be able to validate that you're actually saying the truth and that you're not lying. All right. And whenever they come in to request for these recommendations, you can always just reach out, right? And we ensure that these reference letters and recommendations are made available. You can see from one of the testimonials, Ololade was able to get her permanent residency in Canada as a result of the recommendation that she received from Tenalytics on her application. All right. So we have all of these in mind to help you break into this field of machine learning seamlessly. All right. Besides these sessions that we have discussed and all of these services that are made available here at Analytics, we also have the weekly mentorship sessions. Now, this is a session that happens week on week, where we get to take you through other concepts. I mentioned the soft skills that are required to break into the field, right? So in these mentorship sessions, we are discussing the employability skills that you need and other soft skills that are required to help you break into the field of tech, to break into the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence, depending on what exactly your career goals are. You also have on-the-job support. Even after getting a job, we are here to always support you. If there's anything that becomes too difficult, you can just reach out, right? And we are more than happy and more than glad to help you through that. Right. So Tenalytics is the powerhouse for you. Right? Is just the one-stop shop for you. Right? Everything you need is covered in here, and we are here to ensure that your transition is seamless. You actually get the role, and you can perform on the job. Right? That you can perform on the job. Now, with all of these in place, we also have a dedicated learning management system, right? We've been able to develop our own personal learning management system that is tailored to your learning style. Whether you are a fast-paced learner or a slow-paced learner, whatever it is, we are here to ensure that you are able to transition seamlessly, learn at your pace, and catch up, right? We have a plethora of data science professionals, machine learning engineers, and AI specialists that are at your disposal, responding to your questions, guiding you through the entire training, taking you through live sessions, right, through live classes, working on projects together, and ensuring that you are able to seamlessly break into this field. We have a dedicated learning management system where we host all of the resources that you need on your learning journey. You're also able to see that you can actually book an interview preparation session, request for a reference and recommendation letters on this platform. So everything you need, Analytics is your one-stop shop for everything that you need. All you have to do is join our next cohort that's starting on the 8th of March. The year is already fast running, all right? January is gone, February is almost over, and before you know it, we are already in March, all right? So it's very important that you start taking your taking things seriously, right? We are seeing that machine learning and artificial intelligence are trending roles in 2025. Right, so grab the opportunity now as quickly as possible. Join as quickly as possible before the year runs out. You would have already gone through the entire training and establish a level of proficiency, you would already have a robust portfolio that you can put out there and actually land your very first role. You can actually land your very first role before the end of 2025. All you have to do is take that very first step, right, and get started with your application. Join our next cohort that's starting on the 8th of March. And Analytics has been so kind, right, to give a 20% off discount for the first 20 people that are applying to the program. All right. So, like I mentioned earlier, we have an 8 months program, the 8 months plan, right? 8 months timeline for the training, and the 12 months plan, the 12 months period for your training. All right. And we are giving out a 20% discount for the very first 20 people to apply to the program. Right. We have the 8 months program that costs $900, but we are giving a discount of 20%, and you get to pay $750 and enjoy all of these benefits, from the employability sectors to the robust training preparing you for a career in machine learning and artificial intelligence, to the 12 months plan where you get to pay $1,000 instead of $8,200 for a period of 12 months. Right. So we are very intentional about giving you the best of value, right? And that's why we have the program structured this way. And we have also gone way out of our hand to give you instrumental payment options. All right. You get to pay $150 for a period of 5 months if you're going for the 8 month plan, or $125 for a period of 8 months. So longer time, less payment for a period of 8 months, right? If you're going for the 12 months plan. And like I mentioned before, I would really recommend the 12 months plan because it gives you a lot more time to build on different projects, right? You get to experience how data science, how machine learning, how artificial intelligence is applied in these different sectors. You get to work on a plethora of projects that can be added into your portfolio and can help you get started in artificial intelligence, help you break into the field of artificial intelligence and actually start making impact. All right. To make payments, all you have to do is click on the link. My colleagues on the call would have already started dropping the links and necessary details that you need to actually make payments and actually lock in the opportunity to get started with the next cohort. March is just by the corner. All right. So take this opportunity, take this opportunity of the discount, lock in the next cohort, right, and then get started as soon as possible. All right. The materials for this session are going to be made available to you, so you can go over everything we discussed, as well as all the other testimonials and any other extra resources, right? And to make payments, all you have to do is follow the link that my colleagues have shared in the chat. And also from the slide here, you can just come here where it says click to pay installments. You can simply come here, click on this button, and that will take you directly to the payment gateway. Right, that will take you directly to the payment gateway. Let me share that. All right, so let me just pull up the payment gateway so we can. All right. All right, so this is the payments gateway. You get to come in here and take advantage of the current running discount, and you can actually lock in your slot. Right, lock in your slot, be a part of the first 20 people to actually make this payment and lock in a slot for the next coming cohort starting on the 8th of March. All right, like I said, the discount is currently running for the first 20 people to make payments. All right, all you have to do is come in here, search for the particular cohort you are interested in, search for the particular program you're interested in, right? For you being interested in machine learning and artificial intelligence, you are going to be coming over to the full stack data scientist program. All right, whether the 8 month or 12 month program, simply click on whichever one best suits your goals, right? Simply click on it and it will take you directly to the main stack link. There you get to make payments and get yourself onboarded into the program, right? We are here to ensure that your learning journey is seamless, right? And that your transition is efficient and enough. All right, so we have the different payment plans, right? You can choose a payment plan, get to start making installmental payments, pay your very first installment, and lock in this discount, right? You can get started on that right now, right? Your future in artificial intelligence, the future in machine learning starts right now with this application, right? So go on to take the very first step and start your application right now. And that way you're able to break efficiently into the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence, as we would be guiding you through the entire process here at Analytics. We're excited to have you on board, and we're really looking forward to having you all in our classes. All right. It's been an exciting and wonderful session, like I said, and this is where we're going to be drawing the curtains for tonight's session. We'll be responding to your questions, and my colleagues will be dropping the links in the chat, right? So you can take advantage of the discounts, take advantage of the offer that's currently running, and get started on your learning journey in the field of data science and artificial intelligence. If you've enjoyed the conversation so far, if you have learned today, you've taken down a few notes, pen down a few things, can you just throw in your favorite emoji in the chat box? If you've enjoyed the conversation so far, you've enjoyed the session, kindly throw in your favorite emoji, whichever one it might be, just throw in your favorite emoji in the chat box. All right, fantastic. Thank you, Ray. Fantastic. So at this point, I'll be taking on questions while you can go on to start making payment. You can go on to click on the link, look at the program brochure, see a much more detailed breakdown of everything we'll be covering on the program, as well as how you can actually lock in that discount, right? Lock in that discount. We've been able to see that the field of data science or the field of machine learning is an emerging field, right? There's a lot of development happening, just as we've seen some of the emerging trends in the field of machine learning. And we've been able to also establish some of the skills you require. And you can see that the program caters for every single thing you need to actually break into the field of machine learning and artificial intelligence. So we are here to ensure that your journey is seamless. Now take advantage of the opportunity that's made available right now and lock in on this discount, right? Lock your slot today. All right, so if there are any questions, please, I would like to take questions now. If you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat or use the raise hand gesture so I can take your questions. Moving on. So any questions, Any questions? Let me go through the chat. I can give a number of questions. What time is the live training? Okay, there's been responses to that. All right, so Raga is asking, is the training material accessible after the period ends? Yes, you have lifetime access to all of your learning materials, from the resources on the LMS to all of the live classes, recordings, right? You can always catch up on all of these resources. Yes, you have lifetime access to everything. What if you want to pay at once? Yes, of course, Ray, you can go on to pay at once, right? You lock in your discount today. All right. So all you have to do is click on the link. Let me go back to the main stack site again and just show us what the process would be like. Right. So if you click on the link, it will bring you to this site. Right. It brings you in here. Right. All you have to do is scroll down and look for the specific program you are interested in. In this case, that will be full stack data science. You want to break into the field of machine learning, that will be full stack data science. All right, so you can just click on whichever program plan or you are interested in, whether the 8 or 12 months. Right, if you click on the 12 months, it should bring you up here and you get to see what the program structure is like. Right, you get to see everything that needs to be covered, right? From you get to choose your payments plan. If you want to pay in 1 installment, in 2 installments, if you want to pay all at once, you just select the one-time payment, make the full payment, and you're good. All right. If you want 2 installments, you can choose whatever option you choose to go with, right? Whatever number of installments you're choosing to go with. All you have to do is click on it and click over here to secure your seat. So if you want to pay payments now, choose the one-time payment and then click on secure your seat. And then you can go about the rest of the process, make the payment and you'll be fully onboarded into the program. All right. So yes, I think I saw a question earlier if the materials of this session will be available. Yes. Right. So if you haven't filled out the attendance form, I would recommend that you do that. All right. So at the end of the session, we're going to be going through the attendance and be sending out, give you access to these materials. So please, if you want to get the materials, the recording of the session as well as the slides, right, please ensure that you fill the attendance form in order to be able to break in. Right. So how easy and practically possible is the training for a 50-year-old man? Okay. It's very, very realistic. It's very realistic. All right. I mentioned I showed us projects that some of the participants from the October last year cohort worked on. Right. I had a much older participants in class, right, in the September cohort, right. This was someone that had completed their 30 years of service and was already retired and already relaxing, but took on the program and was able to seamlessly go through it, right. She was able to come up with, develop her machine learning models, run through the entire program, um, develop all of these models, and is currently a full stack data scientist, is currently a machine learning engineer. So yes, it's easy, it's practical for you to actually break in, right? Age is not a barrier. That's one amazing thing about the field of tech generally. As a matter of fact, age is not a barrier. Neither is distance or location, right? You can be in Nigeria working for a company in the US, right? So age is not a barrier in any way at all, right? Age is not a barrier in any way at all. Jude is asking, do you have AI or ML as a course now? Right, so the program prepares you for artificial intelligence. Like I mentioned, machine learning is one way we can achieve artificial intelligence. All right. And as we have seen from the program structure, we'll take you through the skills that you need to become a machine learning engineer, which is basically an application or a way to achieve artificial intelligence. So yeah, all right. The program is focused on developing machine learning skills that can help you to further advance into artificial intelligence. Right. Nwoko is asking, what's the relationship between data engineering and AI engineering? All right, so AI engineering focuses on developing AI systems, developing models that are able to perform tasks that would usually require human intelligence or usually require human involvement. And then data engineering is focused on developing or orchestrating the flow of data. The focus here is on developing data warehouses, developing the structure for extracting and manipulating data. So the job of a data engineer is developing the architecture, the structure, right? Developing the warehouse for data storage, developing a pipeline, developing the entire system for interacting with data. And then the AI engineer is developing models that are able to mimic human behavior. So they are related in some way because for you to develop an AI model, right, especially if you're applying machine learning techniques, you would need to be able to use data, right? So the data engineer is responsible for developing the warehouse and system through which you are able to extract the data. And when you have done that, you can now develop your machine learning model or AI system. Right. I hope that makes sense, Nwoko. Hope that makes sense, Nwoko. Okay, Jennifer is saying, can I change my choice of course? Can I change my choice of course? So, Jennifer, I'm assuming you've already enrolled for the program, for a program with analytics. Is that the case? Hello, Jennifer. So while I'm expecting Jennifer's, okay, you fill the form. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So you've not made payments yet. You've not enrolled. Right? So when making your payment, you can decide which of the programs you want to get into. But so in case you change your mind, yeah, we are here to ensure that will meet your needs. However, there's a limited time for you to actually make that switch, right? So regardless, there's room for you to make that switch. If you haven't made payments, you haven't gone on the main start link yet, that's not a problem. When you go on to make payments, you can actually decide which of the programs you are actually interested in and go on to apply for the particular program you're interested in. All right, so if you fill the attendance form, we're going to be reaching out to you. Just make sure that you have filled out the attendance form. We send you all of the resources and we'll continue. There'll be further communications going on. All right, so if you need the link for payment, my colleagues have been dropping that in the chat, but let me just send that in again one more time. All right, so this is the link for payments, and the second link will be the one for the attendance. All right. Thank you, Sophia. So any more questions? Any more questions? Okay, so Nnamdi is asking, could I elaborate more about data analytics? All right, so data analytics is focused on looking into data, right? Analyzing trends and patterns that exist in your data, extracting insights and communicating these insights effectively. Right? So data analytics is basically the process of wrangling your data. It involves taking in your data, breaking it down, picking out patterns and observations that can be made, and communicating these patterns, right, that are observed, right? So you go through the data, well, I'm observing this kind of trend, I'm observing this kind of relationship between my data points, right? And then you're able to effectively and seamlessly communicate all of that. Like you can utilize tools like visualizations, use tools like Tableau, Power BI to create dashboards that can effectively and seamlessly allow you to communicate these findings. Right? So your focus is on taking in data, analyzing it, right? Looking into the data, if there are any observations, any insights that can be extracted, any kind of information that can be gathered, and then communicating it effectively to your stakeholders or to your audience. I hope that makes sense. That's just a brief description and a big breakdown. So you also need to be able to interact with databases because, of course, you need to be able to extract the data you need, and then you need a level of proficiency. You would require SQL to be able to interact with the database, yes. And then you need to be able to use visualization tools in order to summarize your data and communicate it effectively. So yeah, data analytics is that's basically data analytics in a nutshell. All right, so it seems we don't have a lot of questions. Oh, all right, fantastic. So it seems we don't have a lot of questions, and I think at this point we can draw the curtain, right? It's been an awesome session, and I'll be looking forward to seeing us in the live class, right? I'll be looking forward to seeing every one of us on board. Right? If you're excited about AI, the future of AI, the future of machine learning, and the plethora